Crikey, mate. If you look closely, you can see there's a wild BMW somewhere about. We don't know where. They're pretty sneaky. We'll see if it's got 2 leaks. Oh my God, it's 2. They're close. It's close by. What's up, guys? So I really wasn't planning on filming this job that I'm doing here. Basically, last week we put on the new JXB center support bushing. Well, not new, but we put back on the JXB after we had shredded the stock center support bushing that came with the new drive shaft. So the job was easy, put back together, no problem. Went test drove it, everything was good. Went down the interstate, had a little bit of a vibration between like 60 and 80 miles an hour. Nothing crazy. It's still very manageable when you're driving, but annoying, because who wants to have a vibration in their car? So I figured that I had installed the JXB thing in a bit of a bind. I doubted myself that I would do that, but I figured might as well. It's an easy thing to do. Jack the car up, loosen the bolts, wiggle it around, kind of reset the positioning of it, and then tighten everything back down. So when I was down there doing that, I just decided to look around and see what else might be damaged. And the guibo actually has some damage on it and some witness marks of a lot of deflection. And I'll show you what I'm talking about when I get down there. But it had some damage in between all of the bolt holes. It also had some witness marks on the flange of the drive shaft, like it was able to twist a lot. The drive shaft was twisting a lot in relation to where the transmission was. So it's got about 20,000 miles on it. Even driving the way that I drive, I would have thought that I would have got more. So maybe the center support bushing failing and letting it flutter like that could have allowed more movement, and that's kind of what caused it to fail. Regardless of the whys, I do have a new guibo that we're going to throw on here. I'm going to do some research to figure out what the best solid mount option might be for it, because if I'm going to have to replace a guibo every 20,000 miles, I'd rather just get a hard polyurethane or maybe even aluminum guibo, so I don't ever have to deal with this again. I know it'll introduce more vibration into the car, into the whatever. I'm going to feel more of it, but it's got a welded diff. It's got, who cares at this point? It's just it's getting more and more track car, and I really don't care. So I'm more of the opinion that I would like it to be reliable versus the feel-good aspect of it. So let's jump under there. I'll show you what I'm talking about, and then let's get it swapped out. And then I'm sure in a month we'll be doing the same job again to swap it out with something a little bit more robust. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. If you look at this right here, in between here, there is not supposed to be a bunch of nonsense going on there. Where's the new one? Damn, I forgot the new one outside the car. I'll show you later what a new one looks like. But this is like a little expansion zone or whatever. You can kind of see what it looks like right there. But every other one has a massive tear in it where that expansion zone is, and it's like it got hit back and forth into itself. The witness mark, God, there's no room under here. The witness mark that I'm talking about is right here. So it looks like this bolt contacted this flange, and it's on every single one, right? So what this means, what this tells me, that this bolt contacted here, and as it did that, it crunched this in and just wore the shit out of it, which would make sense. Damn, man, I got a little stringy piece coming off too. This thing's falling apart. So I think that is the cause of my vibration, just because everything else feels good and seems tight, and there's no other play anywhere else. This just really kind of shocked me that this thing was able to move. You're talking about at least, a knuckle, the end knuckle of my pinky, of movement, which means that when this thing starts to go, whether it's during clutch kicks or when it really loads up, it's still twisting, but this is compressing into this. So let's throw the new guibo that we have on it so we can at least fix the problem for now. But we're definitely going to do some research and try to figure out what we might be able to do as a more permanent option with some added reliability. All right, we got half the bolts out, and there's definitely, this is 100% the vibration. As I'm taking these out, every other one is torn around where you put the bolt through. This one's got the exact same. Not as bad, but the tear's starting there. Actually kind of goes out a little bit further here. So this is for sure the culprit, or at least part of the equation. So we'll get the other bolts out, and we'll throw it on the bench and see just a side-by-side comparison. Okay, so old guibo, new guibo, or new-ish guibo. I looked back in my car's like little record thing that I keep in my notes on my phone, and this one was replaced, I think like 5,000 miles before I bought the car. I was experiencing a vibration. It turned out to be the center support bearing. It's why I ended up getting the JXB thing in the first place, like when I first got the car. But because I was not familiar with guibos, I'm like, well, it looks kind of like oldish, I'll replace it. So that's what this one was. So this one has 5,000 or 10,000 miles on it. It is in much better shape though than this one. So the cool thing here, which will focus, what I think is happening is I want to believe that this happened because the center support bushing failed. I want to believe that because I think this is more like, it's a more robust part than failing at 20,000 miles. But like, look at that. Look at the wear on these things. That right there is what makes me think that there's no way that just happened in a matter of driving it around for a day and a half with a busted center support bushing. There's just no way. Both sides have it. So what that tells me is this thing was able to, so that's attached to the transmission, and then as traction changes and it bites and unbites, that sucker is moving, what, half an inch? I got a little slide rule for us to look. From there to there, about half an inch. So this is compressing half of an inch. That's wild to me. That's so wild. So we'll see how long this one lasts. But yeah, I definitely want to do a solid mount or something that's just like more dense than this. So if anybody knows anything, definitely drop that in the comments, because I am new to this realm of looking for this. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get this one thrown on the car so we can finish it and then knock out the detail that I have to do for a friend. Okay, new guibo in. Golly, that sucker was it fought every step of the way. I just wanted to touch on one thing. I have always noticed on these guibos a directional here, but it changes each one. Well, yeah, it changes each one, right? I believe it is trying to indicate a direction for a bolt, but my question to you is, how in the holy fuck are you supposed to get a bolt back in here when the bolt itself is longer than the whole opening, right? That makes no sense. Okay, I'm not proud to admit this, but I had just said that I'm like, oh, what the fuck do these mean? I don't know. Are they bolt directions? Okay, this means it points to here and here. It contacts fucking loud ass annoying Hondas. So this is pointing to this and this, which is saying to make sure that it goes into these, because these have like a little retaining cup. So like, but it's saying to go into that. I've always done that because it's always been what felt right, but I never paid attention. It never crossed my mind. Like I said, I'm not proud. I just wanted to share that. Maybe somebody else was as confused as I was. Okay, new guibo is in and torqued, ready to go. Not a crazy hard job. The trick for sure was getting a bigger pry bar. I was trying to just be gentle with it, but let's see if I can turn the light and show you. There you go. So obviously, you know, the drive shaft is designed to slide up and down those splines. I had like ½ an inch left of spline that I could slide it to, but I just couldn't get it to move with that little pry bar. So bigger pry bar, sent it home, allowed me to slide it on up here, and yeah, here we go. So let's, well, I gotta do one more thing. I don't think I'm gonna record it. I gotta adjust my parking brake where I put these new rotors and shit on, and I have drifted the car. I've worn them down and it's gotten like super soft like my parking brake has. So gonna adjust that, and then yeah, we'll take the car for a test drive and see how it does. So take it from somebody that has lost one of these bolts while driving. I torque them with my ½ inch ratchet, right? Like I just get them real like very snug, almost like as tight as I can go with that ratchet. And then I get a breaker bar, and I just go like 1/16 to 1/8 of a turn depending on how tight it feels. Just to make sure that these are tight, because I lost one driving down the interstate one time. Dude, it sounded like a grenade went off down here. I got lucky and it left, I think, a mark on the old drive shaft, but it's, you know, bing, 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 bing. I'm like, oh shit. So take your time, torque them, make sure that they're all, you know, good to go. This is one of those things that you really don't want to fuck up on. Okay, so I got everything finished, but I do have to actually go work on a truck at a buddy's farm. So because of that, I'm not going to be able to test drive it today. I think there's enough footage here to be, you know, its own video. You have to tune in next time for us to go do our test drive of it, and, you know, see how well it slides. We'll go down the interstate. We will get off at our favorite spot, and then kind of slide around a little bit just to make sure that everything feels good, and we can like confidently say, hey, it fixed the problem. So I hate to cut it short like that, but duty calls, got to stack that paper, you know, got to make your money, got things to pay for this car. So I appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you next time.